Good morning, everyone. Uh, Guys should see the scene in my room. Last night, it was quiet for a while. Got to rest. And two dogs, they, it's amazing how you just attract the animals when they know. One was on one side of my bed, and the other one was on the other side of my bed, where I'm kind of closer to. And suddenly I had all three of them, my grandchildren, all three of them were in the room again. Okay, and there is rewatching a show. It's Chinese, yes, drama. Lots of fantastic fighting going on, and but very little killing or anything. They just knock each other out or something, and no blood or anything. So it's a perfect show for the kids. They can watch it too, and that's interesting. The kids really like these shows. I tell you why they like these shows. Because the people are dressed properly. They're just dressed. On top of that, it's like, no, the men has their space and the women have their space kind of thing, right? And any little thing that, kind of alludes to romance is a surprise to them. I mean, to the characters in the drama. And there's very, very, very little of that going on. And especially not now in the beginning again. And but there's all these different types of people with their different talents when it comes to what? Martial arts. And then of course they a lot of those, they have this like inner force, where they can do special things. Okay, this one's funny to watch. It's also funny. It's humorous, and they all get mesmerized by it. They can't understand a word. My oldest granddaughter now can read the subtitles too. But and they don't even ask, so what's going on? What did they say? Nothing, because there's so much else going on, right? So I got them all in there, and of course after a while they do get interested, and it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and they start romping around again in my room, and I said, no. If you want to do that, you got to go into the other part of the house. Right? Grosie's getting ready to go to sleep, so no more of that. And I go, oh, can we sleep with you, Grosie? And they had all already congregated around the one dog next to me, Baby. It's a Mastiff and Pyrenees mix. She's huge. She's really sweet. Doesn't bark or anything either. Anyway, and she loves it. She just loved being loved on, and this and that. So they all wanted to sleep with Baby. Okay, I'm talking the big dog and 3 kids. Okay, who aren't that? 10, 7, and 4, and the space literally is no more than I'd say 6x4 space. And they all went and got a pillow and a blanket. And I said, well, if Mommy doesn't come down and get you upstairs, sure, you can. What? I told one, why don't you sleep on the bed? I said, no, we want to sleep with Baby. Okay, it's their thing. Kids, children, they come up with the stuff and how to make things work, right? Sure, they made it work. So you should see the pile, dog and kid pile in there, where they're all sleeping, and all night long. There was nothing. Nobody woke up. Nobody. Right? They kind of started moving a little. You can tell they started moving on top of the other rug there. And, okay, it's so funny. All night long, blanket, pillow. They all hunkered down. Within 5 minutes, they were all asleep. Well, they should be. They were running again all day. Anyway, so at one point my daughter came in, and I was already snoozing off, and I thought I was dreaming that somebody did something, and then suddenly I hear my daughter trying to get Coda. She needs to be kenneled at night, or you'll find puddles and stuff. It's just what it is. Right? And so she kind of had to pull her out a little bit. And she, well, I want to be a part of the dog and kid pile, right? Even though she was on the other side of the bed. Well, anyway, so she went. I woke up and was, what's going on? I realized it was my daughter. Come in, I guess, and check and see what's actually going on. But she didn't say anything. No. Okay, let them do whatever. Summertime, right? Wonderful. Children can just explore through what so there they are. And the dog never moved either. Didn't move. This morning when I got up and made my coffee, it looked like she's going to come out. And no, she looked around and laid back down right in the middle of the children. That's something. Which brings me to something else, an interesting little experience I had with the children myself. I like these experiences because then it's not just theory, or I'm talking about somebody else having these experiences, which of course this isn't the first one, but it reminded me again of something. We were sitting all having lunch, and the neighbor boy, he says that I'm also watching, he says something about Jesus. We hadn't started eating yet. And I said, oh, good one. I said, let's have a prayer before we eat. Now, I don't do that all the time. As I said, I don't shove God, religion, down anybody's throat, including my grandchildren. I wait for the opening. That's what God does, doesn't he? Yes. And then I take my, oh, there is an interest, yes. Okay, now we're moving forward with that. I brought a children's Bible with me as well. And so I kind of always, and the number one thing again, if there's no abuse going on, is that you follow the parents' lead. You don't just get to go someplace and start giving your ideology or whatever. You don't do that. You just don't do that. That's not right. Because if you are truly following God's path, okay, the righteous path, then these openings will come. And then suddenly it goes into the right direction. It will make a difference. It does stick. Anyway, so we did that, and they all poked their hands. I said a little prayer, short. Don't make it long with children. They're still trying to understand how this all works. And I said, amen. They all went, amen. When one has a God-centered surrounding, it doesn't always mean you have to have it hanging on your sleeve or whatever, okay? That's the other thing, too. You're the example, right? Yes? What I've noticed, though, again, okay, through Facebook, even on YouTube, and it is on how children are teaching now about God and Jesus, and where our heart should lie when it comes to all the children. Okay? Young children, and they grow older and still have this just natural love for God. That should give people something to think about. Right? Where is that coming from in the children? Oh, it's the parents. I don't believe that. Children very much are still in tune with spirit world. Okay? And then, of course, if their surroundings also has certain components in it, they know then where to attach that spiritual nature to in the physical, as they're being taught, which of course then is God and Jesus and the heart, right? Yes? Okay. And then verbally can already give such beautiful messages. So what? God has to work through the children now? What, to stir our heart? Because children should be one of the most wonderful things that we have in this world. They're so, as an adult now, I was a child, I know that. But as a child, I wasn't watching necessarily other children, in the way that I do now. And I'm just so, wow, what a wonderful thing to be a part of, to see children develop and grow and blossom, if they're given that chance. Right? Yes. Interestingly enough, I saw the opposite of that, where a boy was talking about, so in the 1950s, where people have, he was 5, I don't know, 10 years old or something, 8, 10 years old, had books. Now, what are children doing, and what is it doing? And I listened for a while, and going, yeah, okay, again, it was a bit disjointed as well, not quite, okay, what are you, first of all, you're using big words, I don't know, Who taught you there, right? And who couldn't quite find his way around these words then. Interesting. So I listened for a little while and I said, yeah, no. Now this, I feel like, this boy, though, he has a good point. He wants to make a point, right? Yes, one should still read, which, by the way, is happening in this house. Absolutely. My favorite now. I found another favorite book, children's book. I have a few. This is another one. It's Pete the Cat, I think. It's Pete the Cat. There's several stories about it. The first one I read to my youngest granddaughter last time was about something about pizza. It was all right. It was fun for them to kind of talk along. But this one is about buttons. The story, Pete the Cat. My buttons. Not buttons, not buttons. It's such a great, well-balanced book. And the moral of the story is so beautiful. It really is. Probably one of the best books, children's books I've ever read. Besides, my granddaughter, again, she knows it already. That book was probably read a couple 100 times here already. Anyway, so interesting to me, and how many videos I've seen of children talking about Jesus and God, and you can tell they're not confused. Have not been groomed to say what they are saying. They're so clear about their message that they're giving when they're talking about that. And it amazes me. Yes, it just amazes me. So God is working through children now. Why? Is it so that these children not teach us about God and Jesus? That's a bit sad, isn't it? We should know all this ourselves. For me, again, when I see these every time, it's, as an adult, then, what should we think about? Where should our attention lie? Yes? To save the children. That's got to be our number one mission right now. Yes, should be. Should always have been. Okay. Well, anyway, thought I'd share this real quick this morning. Now, let's get all still asleep. Nobody's moving. So cute. A little pile on the floor of dogs and children. And no doubt, I'll let Coda out, and she's out of the kennel now. She's most likely back in there too. So wonderful. Every day is wonderful. Every day I'm able to offer these days to our heavenly parents. Yes? The purpose of life is to bring God joy. I think that every day here, He just has this joyful day with us together. And that makes my heart sing. Yes? Yeah. For God, not myself. Oh, of course, I'm proud of myself too. Dear me. All right. Joshua 4. The 12 memorial stones. When the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, Yahweh spoke to Joshua and said, "Choose 12 men from the people, 1 man from each tribe, and give them this order. Here, from mid-Jordan, from the place where the priest's feet were standing, take 12 stones, carry them with you, and set them down in the camp where you pass the night." Joshua called the 12 men whom he had selected from the Israelites, 1 man from each tribe, and Joshua said to them, "Go on ahead of the ark of Yahweh your God into mid-Jordan, and each of you take 1 stone on his shoulder, corresponding to the number of the tribes of Israel, to make this a sign among you, and when in the future your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean for you?' you will then tell them, 'The waters of the Jordan separated before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh when it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the river separated.' These stones are an everlasting reminder of this to the Israelites." The Israelites did as Joshua ordered. They took 12 stones from mid-Jordan, corresponding to the number of tribes of Israel, as Yahweh had told Joshua. They carried them over to the camp and set them down there. Joshua then erected 12 stones in mid-Jordan on the spot where the feet of the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant had stood, and they are still there today. Okay. All right, that's okay. What I like about this, first, there's some things now again happening but God didn't ask you to do that, right? Like, all right, mid-Jordan, I'm assuming that's on the other side. Okay, it's early. I'm still tired. Guys, my brain's not working quite yet. My heart to mind's a little bit still shrouded in sleep. What I like about this, let's just talk about what I like about it. What I like about this is that God's making sure that all the tribes, whatever they're doing, right, it's not just the Levites that are involved. Right? It involves 1 person, even if it's just 1 person, right, from each tribe. Make sure. I want you to pick 12 men, 12 tribes, 1 from each tribe. So what does that do? It unites and it connects all the tribes. Right? Yes? People like to go off on their own and do their own thing. Forgetting they're supposed to be a whole, united as a whole. Under what? Under the umbrella of God, of course. Yes? Yet. Yeah. So God's trying to teach Joshua here too. Make sure that you always have someone also from each tribe come and tell you how they're doing. See, this tells me a little more than just about the rocks. Yes? They're still there today? I have no idea. Are they? Are they marked? They have to be really big boulders then or something. Rocks usually, they get displaced all the time. Right? Unless they're really, really big, where you need a crane. This, not know what. Anywho, so I think again, this is more stay united. Make sure, Joshua, that you are connected to all the tribes, and the tribes are all connected to you. So again, have some people of each tribe kind of letting you know what's going on. Yes? That's kind of what I hear out of it. Yes. Oh, interesting. To stay connected to our children. How do we stay connected to our children? And how has it kind of reversed now? The children are trying to stay connected to their parents. And how? Wow. When one really thinks about it, how amazingly does God work? Every which way trying. Yes, to keep us united. Anyway, a cry for help from the children. And they have such wonderful little orators out there already. The crossing ends. The priests carrying the ark stood still in mid-Jordan until everything had been done that Yahweh had ordered Joshua to tell the people, in accordance with everything that Moses had ordered Joshua. Oh, so they did. Mid-Jordan. I'm assuming that's, as I said, I'm assuming that's not in a river. Okay, whatever. A bit confusing here. In accordance with everything that Moses had ordered Joshua, and the people hurried across. When the people had finished crossing, the ark of Yahweh then crossed with the priests. Okay, so they were in the middle of the river. To the head of the people. The sons of Reuben, the sons of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh crossed in battle formation at the head of the Israelites, as Moses had told them. Some 40,000 warriors in arms. They crossed in Yahweh's presence, ready for battle towards the plain of Jericho. Now, again, it has to be mentioned again. I thought that Joshua sent out the spies to go see what the kind of the situation is. Well, then they should know. So why are they all ready to battle while crossing the river? That God now just had, you see that? You see, this doesn't compute. But God had just split the waters again, made sure they had dry land. Not only that, but they could get stones and carry them with them, or place them after the waters come back, then you can't see the stones. So they have to be taken out and taken wherever they're going. Okay. Yet, are they trusting God here? Well, why are they in battle formation? Just in case. Then you're not trusting God. And who's so close by, ready to battle you? Oh, yet you cross the river anyway. Okay, you see, it isn't quite how it is written down here. Doesn't seem quite how it actually went. Because where is the trust here? Joshua tells the people, and again, Moses is mentioned. Moses is mentioned again. Joshua was given God's talking to Joshua now, giving the orders and how to do all that. Yes, really, when it comes down to it. Yet Joshua's still following certain things that Moses had told him. Oh, is he? Where's the ark? Oh, that had to go first into the river so the waters could split. Okay. All right. Got it. Then they stayed there, right? And the rest of them then all went around it. And so did they also have to stay, I don't know how far away from the ark then? That's interesting, isn't it? All this, okay. How did that all go? Why is it written down the way it is written down? They could have just said in the beginning, okay, let's get the ark through, so make room, okay, don't stand in the way, then we'll do that, and everybody go on, right? But it doesn't say here now, okay, make sure you don't touch the ark, don't, it doesn't say anything here about that. People just crossed hurriedly on top of that, right? Hurriedly crossed, yes? So I'm sure there was some confusion and chaos going on. Right? So many people. Oh, and how many millions are they not by now? Right? Yes? Okay. Man, that had to be a scene. And they're ready for battle. Why? Didn't those spies come back and say, hey, they're so afraid of us, don't even worry. As long as we're not right on top of them or anything, we'll be all right crossing that river. Did they have time to reconnoiter properly? Or did they suddenly have to worry about their own life? What's going on there? That day Yahweh made Joshua great in the eyes of all Israel. Oh, yeah, okay. Whom respected him who respected him as they had respected Moses, as long as he lived. Did they respect Moses, really? Again, okay, well, it's past. Moses has gone. This needs to be written down somehow, right? Yeah, okay. Yahweh said to Joshua, order the priests carrying the ark of the testimony to come up out of the Jordan. And Joshua gave the order to the priests, come up out of the Jordan. Now, when the priests carrying the ark of the covenant of Yahweh came up out of Jordan, no sooner had the soles of the priests' feet touched solid ground than the waters of the Jordan returned to their bed and ran on, in spat as before. Okay. I don't know what in spat means. I have no idea. Well, hi, little bug. You're not in a good spot right now. Yep. Interesting. Again, it's a story to tell the children. Arrival at Gilgal. It was the 10th day of the first month when the people came up from the Jordan and made their camp at Gilgal. So they've been 10 days there already, moving on the eastern border of Jericho. As regards those 12 stones which they had taken from the Jordan, Joshua set them up at Gilgal. Oh, not in the mid-Jordan. Or did he set up another set of stones in okay. He then said to the Israelites, when in the future your children ask their fathers, what are these stones? You will explain to your children, Israel crossed this Jordan dry shod. For Yahweh your God dried the waters of the Jordan in front of you until you had crossed, just as Yahweh your God did to the sea of reeds, which he dried up before us until we had crossed it, so that all peoples of the earth may know how mighty the hand of Yahweh is, and always stand in awe of Yahweh your God. Oh, interesting. Now again, so how this is written down, Yahweh your God did to the sea which he dried up before us until we had crossed it. He dried it up, but didn't split the waters? Well, anyway, we're getting a little bit, as I said, if one listens to what's written down here, and if it wasn't like that, if it was really, then why is it not written down exactly as that? Nope, we stood there, and the water, the priests set their feet in the water, and it just receded. Same thing. Right? It's given a little different here. Something else. Oh, and again with Reuben and Gad and the Manasseh, right, the tribes. Was it really in battle formation? Why is it given like that? Why not? Nope. Those tribes went ahead to kind of clear things out of the way for the rest of the people. If there was something in the way, I'm not sure. What was it just desert? There was a lot of people were crossing there. They could have also kind of stood in the river, like in certain ways, the men, so that if children would fall. Did anybody drown? No. Well, no, because there wasn't that much water. Yet still, I'm sure people needed a little help to get across. So it sounds like that some tribes were assigned, okay, make sure everything goes well. A wagon wheel doesn't break, or the oxen don't freak out, or something, right? Yes? Why not explain it that way? Because it doesn't say anywhere. This is already 10 days later, and they have not encountered anybody to fight that they need to fight against. Right? Then why say it the way they do? They went first in battle formation, ready to... Why say it like that if it's not true? Obviously it wasn't true. Again, to what show? Yeah, we trust Moses. We trusted Moses, kind of. Oh, we trust Joshua, kind of. Oh yeah, well then there's God. We should definitely trust. Yeah, kind of. Yeah? Are you not getting that out of that? how I am getting there? Where is truly the trust of the people? In no one. It sounds like. Though, things are really moving along. It's moving along. Moving on. Right? Yes? And the children are mentioned. And the children ask, know the story. Truly know the story. Right? And why? Why should they know the story? So God can keep on living in the hearts of their descendants. Right? Being grateful, thankful. Right? Again, mainly from what? Being released as their own people from Egypt. Right? Yes? Okay. Well, there you go. Oh. So the last part, again, as I just said, tell the children, so that all the people of the earth may know how mighty the hand of Yahweh is, and always stand in awe of Yahweh your God. Yep. I think that due to the fact, and again, one could say, due to the fact that in children, the presence of God actually is still, is the greatest. It's kind of a bit sad, isn't it? But it's the truth. Because the origin of God exists in every child still in its purest form. Right? Yes? Until then they get, yes, as they get older, start forgetting as well. But it's there. And it's another way, again, to, can one not tell on how children truly have still this just purity about themselves that allows these experiences for them. I know how it was for me as a child. And on how then they have this, now it's even, it comes more out in many children, the need to hear about God and Jesus. What we just read, one thing, one plea of God is giving you, they're setting up certain things so that you remember to tell your children about what? How great they did crossing the Jordan? No. How great God is. To remind the children, we didn't do this on our own. We had great help. Now, children are almost as the way things are running in the world, also the infighting and religions, this and that. That is such a children are crying out for help. So look, you have such great examples out there. That's what we need to hear about. That's what we need to do well in our life, and then go from there. Right? Yes, the family structure is very, very important. Right? Anyway. Well, one could get more and more into it, but I really wanted to emphasize and to watch, look around, and how many children out there are now teaching the adults. Yeah? From way back. Here, Joshua and the Israelites are given stories to tell the children, yes, from out on earth. The miracles, the great ways on how things just worked out with such a mass of people. Right? to where they were going, this migration of people. Yes? But the children, when they ask us, hey, this is what you should be doing. Where is your heart and mind and your conscience? And who are you attached to? You should be attached to God. You should be attached to Jesus. They're not speaking from what experiences do they have. Right? They're speaking from still things they remember before they were born. Ah, yeah, interesting. We could talk about that sometime. And how they still know. Now they're coming to this earth. Children are coming to this earth to grow up, soul spirits, coming to this earth. And from little on, they're starting to teach people, adults, reminding the adults, hey, remember where you came from. Remember, right? And where you're going back to. I find that interesting. And it's happening more and more. If you pay attention to it, it's happening more and more. So there is that. Children, basically out there crying out for help. Not just the ones abused, this, that. That's, of course, that is, it's not acceptable. This has got to stop. It just has to stop. And people need to just start doing their job when it comes to all that. But otherwise, children as well, they're just about pleading with us. Please don't expose us to this just horrific music, these stupid movies, just stuff going on that's doing nothing but confuse us. So we have no idea anymore where we belong. Right? They are. So as parents out there, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, make good choices when you expose your children to whatever. Yes, in this household, in this family here, in my other daughter's family, there is a child as well. Oh, phew. They are restricted from left to right about certain things. The parents just don't want them to be a part of, don't want them to hear, have no access to, done. Oh, that's to keep their children's hearts to minds, their conscience in the right direction, number one. Number two, to keep the purity of the child intact until the child gets old enough to be able to absorb certain things, digest certain things. Yes? And you know what? It's proven over and over and over again in the millions and millions of videos out there. Children singing about Jesus and God and are just babies in car seats that are absolutely in the, just love it. They feel it. In the clear way that they talk. There's even some preachers, their children, they're listening one, whoa, where is this coming from? Children have no problem digesting God and Jesus. None. Zero. They want to know about spirits, this and that as well. And again, some of the things they're hearing about what that is, that doesn't exist, they're worried about because they have no give and take with that, you see, because it doesn't exist. But it's being told by whom? The boogeyman, or this boogeyman. I've heard of the boogeyman. As I said, how much do they already know that they're bringing with them from spirit world when they're born? and grow and are giving it out there. Yes, to adults. But then there's nothing of that. And then so when they're being told already, oh, that this, that, oh yeah, demons, they don't know where to put that. Because they don't experience that. They have not experienced that. They don't know what that is. Now they have to fit that in somewhere. So they ask. Right? And then hopefully you have a good explanation for that. And the best one for children is spirits are who? Our ancestors. Yeah? Your grandma's already in spirit world. That's a spirit. Would you be afraid of that? Right. Okay. For example, angels. What do angels do? When my grandson asked, I said, many different types of angels. They're here to help us. We have to ask them. Explain to him, yeah, you can have a supporting angel with you in school to help you learn better. Oh, well, great. As they then get older, of course they can learn more about this stuff. But as I said, interestingly enough, children don't seem to have a problem digesting Jesus and God. Somehow they know. They know what a heart is. Somehow. They know. They instinctively know. Isn't that interesting? Another way to tell people who don't believe in anything. Watch children. Then tell me there is nothing to believe in. Because children naturally believe. They naturally attach themselves to God and Jesus. Okay, that's all I have to say today. There's Coda moving. I'm not sure if she needs to come out again. It's raining. So when she came out, she wanted to turn back in. I'm going, no, you're not going to pee inside because it's raining outside. Not wanting to go out in the rain. Huh? Right? Yeah, city dogs. City dogs don't get wet. I took baby down to the creek. And I thought she was going to go into the creek. It was kind of hot. Yeah. Nope. She went as far as she could just to lick some water, and then one foot was even lifted up. I was like, oh, I'm not going to get this one. I have to get this one wet, but not this one. City dogs. Anyway. So, that's all that's moving in there. Nothing else yet. I get to drink one more cup of coffee. Right? Yes. And then the fun begins again. Another day. Right? Yes. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. And I will talk to y'all another time.